A young girl gets unexpectedly pregnant, but has no idea who the father is. To avoid bringing shame to her family, she is forced to marry a widower 20 years older than her. At the wedding, everyone looks grim. Beth's eyebrows are tightly knit. It isn't until the priest finishes the vows that she finally sheds tears of regret and despair, because to her, this completely loveless marriage is nothing but a brand new prison. According to local customs, Beth must leave with her husband right after the wedding. Right before leaving, the sky actually starts pouring heavy rain. Her dad tries to put a coat over the fragile Beth, but she stubbornly rejects it, simply because she can't forgive her parents for arranging this marriage. But now what is done is done. Even with all the grievance and reluctance in her heart, she can only be forced to accept reality. Under her father's reluctant gaze, she sets off on the road to the remote countryside. The car drives on the winding mountain road for who knows how long. However, just as they are about to arrive, the car accidentally gets stuck in a muddy ditch and can't move. Seeing this, the husband decides to take Beth and walk back on foot, and opens the door with an attitude that allows no refusal. Beth can only helplessly step out of the car, dragging her heavy, pregnant body trudging through the pouring rain. And this freezing rain and muddy path seem to foreshadow that her future days will also face endless hardships. After finally making it home, but the second she pushes the door open, Beth sees a sight that makes her heart sink again. She actually sees 4 underage kids sitting in the house. One of them is still a crying baby held in arms. No doubt they are all born to her husband and his late wife. Just one short day ago, Beth was still a 19-year-old girl, but now she suddenly becomes a stepmother to 4 kids. This massive identity shift makes it hard for Beth to accept at once. Then, under her husband's forceful orders, the 3 daughters come forward one by one to greet Beth. The first 2 friendly shake hands with Beth, but when it is the third one's turn, the little girl coldly introduces herself, her eyes filled with unconcealable resistance. This makes the newly arrived Beth feel a bit overwhelmed. Perhaps to ease this awkward atmosphere, the neighbor helping with the baby steps up to greet Beth, welcoming her arrival, and conveniently helps her take off her soaked shawl. After a few simple greetings, the neighbor tactfully leaves. As night falls, the exhausted Beth falls asleep leaning on a chair, but the husband purposely winds the clock, making a loud noise, forcibly waking Beth up, reminding her it is time for bed. Entering the dimly lit room, Beth sits in front of the mirror, slowly brushing her hair, wanting to give herself some mental buffer time, while the husband makes a devout prayer gesture toward the bed. Then both of them lie down. Even though the husband knows clearly the woman beside him was forced against her will to marry him, he still refuses to let go of this wedding night. He blows out the oil lamp in one breath and directly presses close to Beth. But Beth at this moment is like a shell that has completely lost its soul, numbly enduring her husband's invasion. Late at night, after seeing her husband fast asleep, Beth quietly gets up and changes out of her clothes, even putting on an extra thick coat before lying back down, because it seems only when her body is tightly wrapped can she feel a trace of security. Days just pass by one after another like this, and Beth can only slowly blend into this family, handling all kinds of chores day after day, carefully looking after the daily lives of her husband and stepdaughters. But in this busy and depressing life, what brings her the faintest sense of happiness is the baby in her belly. Every kick makes her incredibly look forward to the arrival of this new life. In the blink of an eye, several months pass by. Beth finally welcomes the day of her delivery. Amidst waves of agonizing hoarse screams, she finally gives birth to a baby boy. She holds the fragile baby in her arms, stroking him gently and affectionately. Even the freezing air around them seems to turn soft. At this moment, all the previous despair has vanished into thin air. The birth of this little life may not wash away the humiliation of her forced compromise, nor does it bring a marriage of mutual respect, but it gives Beth an unprecedented kind of strength. She is finally no longer that helpless girl who rejected her dad's shawl in the rain and could only wrap herself in a heavy coat late at night. Motherhood becomes her toughest armor against a tragic fate. Although the cruel prison is still there, but her soul has already within this tiny space quietly grown unyielding wings,